Welcome to the most explosive investigation in wrestling history. I'm about to expose how WWE has weaponized family loyalty, manufactured betrayals, and used Paul Heyman as their puppet master to systematically dismantle the most successful dynasty in sports entertainment. From Roman Reigns' 1,316-day championship reign to his current humiliation, every major storyline has been designed to break the Anoi spirit. Tonight, we're connecting dots that WWE never wanted you to see. We'll examine how Bronson Reed's sneaker theft at Little Caesars Arena was psychological warfare, why Lance Anoa'i's 2024 WWE signing was immediately sabotaged by a mysterious injury, and how SummerSlam 2025 at MetLife Stadium is designed to be the final nail in the Bloodline's coffin. By the end of this video, you'll never look at WWE's booking the same way again. Let's start with the most obvious evidence, the sneaker theft that shocked the wrestling world. July 28, 2025, Monday Night Raw at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. Bronson Reed doesn't just attack Roman Reigns, he strips him of his custom Jordan Spisak University red colorway sneakers, worth $175 to $220, and parades them like a trophy. But here's what WWE doesn't want you to realize. This wasn't just heel heat. This was calculated psychological destruction. Roman Reigns' sneaker game isn't just fashion, it's identity. From his tribal chief Nike Kobe 9s on Raw's Netflix debut to his upcoming Air Bloodline 12 set for 2025 release, Reigns' footwear represents power, status, and cultural relevance. WWE knows this. They've marketed his sneaker partnerships, featured his custom colorways, and built his OTC brand around this image. So when they scripted Reed to steal those specific University red Spisaks, a colorway that directly references his bloodline legacy, they weren't just creating a wrestling angle. They were attacking his psychological foundation. Think about it, WWE could have had Reed attack Reigns with a chair, put him through a table, or deliver multiple tsunami splashes. Instead, they chose the most personally degrading act possible, theft of his identity symbols. Reed even taunted a fan at ringside, saying, "I'll take your shoes next," extending the humiliation beyond Reigns to his entire fan base. This wasn't a random booking. This was corporate-sanctioned psychological warfare. But the sneaker theft is just the surface. Look at the pattern. WrestleMania 41's triple threat match where Paul Heyman betrayed Reigns, aligning with Seth Rollins. 3 months of absence where WWE deliberately kept their biggest star off television. His return on July 14, 2025, positioned not as a triumphant comeback but as a desperate rescue mission for Jey Uso and CM Punk. Every storyline decision has been designed to chip away at Reigns' aura of invincibility. The evidence is in the details. When Braun Breaker speared Reigns and Jey Uso through the timekeeper's barricade, WWE cameras lingered on their motionless bodies. When Reed delivered those 2 tsunami splashes, one to Jey, one to Roman, the show ended with the heels standing tall and Paul Heyman looking like a proud puppet master. This isn't accidental storytelling. This is systematic humiliation designed to break the psychological hold the Anoi family has on WWE's audience. Even Reigns' social media response on July 29 reveals the psychological impact. Those sneakers, they're not just shoes. They're a symbol of everything I've built, everything I am. WWE forced their biggest star to publicly admit that material possessions define his identity. They made the tribal chief sound desperate, vulnerable, and emotionally compromised. That's not character development, that's character assassination. Now let's examine the most damning evidence of WWE's anti-Anoi conspiracy, the systematic suppression of Lance Anoa'i's career. According to Fightful's reports from summer 2024, Lance signed with WWE but was immediately sidelined by a mysterious injury. But here's what doesn't add up. WWE has never officially acknowledged this signing, provided injury details, or given any timeline for his return. For a company that publicizes every developmental signing and injury update, this silence is deafening. Lance Anoa'i isn't just another indie wrestler. He's the son of Samu, one half of the legendary Head Shrinkers tag team that terrorized WWE in the early 1990s. He's been grinding on the independent circuit since 2014, wrestling for House of Hardcore and MLW, developing a style that blends Samoan power with high-flying agility. At 33 years old, 6 feet 2 inches, and 230 pounds, he has the look, skills, and family pedigree to be a major star. So why has WWE kept him buried? The answer lies in June 24, 2019, a moment WWE hoped fans would forget. On Monday Night Raw, Lance appeared in a segment where Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon attacked him, only for Roman Reigns to make the save. This wasn't a random booking. This was WWE testing the waters, seeing how fans would react to another Anoi family member. The crowd's positive response should have led to a developmental contract and NXT call-up. Instead, Lance vanished from WWE programming entirely. Here's the conspiracy: WWE signed Lance in 2024 not to push him, but to control him. By keeping him under contract but sidelined with a convenient injury, they prevent him from building momentum elsewhere while ensuring he can't interfere with their systematic destruction of the Bloodline. It's the same tactic they've used with other potential threats: sign them, bury them, and control the narrative. The timing of Lance's supposed injury is particularly suspicious. Summer 2024 coincides exactly with WWE's planning for Roman Reigns' post-WrestleMania 41 storyline. As they develop Paul Heyman's betrayal and the rise of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, having another Anoi family member available would have complicated their narrative. Lance's presence would have provided Roman with natural backup, undermining the isolation storyline WWE wanted to tell. But here's where it gets really sinister: WWE is now using Lance as controlled opposition. The rumors of his SummerSlam 2025 debut aren't organic fan speculation, they're WWE-planted stories designed to give false hope to Bloodline supporters. By dangling the possibility of Lance's return, they're manipulating fan emotions while having no intention of actually featuring him meaningfully. Consider the evidence: no official WWE acknowledgement of his signing, no injury specifics, no timeline for return, and no appearances at Performance Center events or NXT shows. For a company that documents everything, this level of secrecy around a third-generation wrestler from their most successful family is unprecedented. Lance Anoa'i isn't injured, he's being held hostage by his own contract, prevented from helping his family when they need him most. The most crucial piece of this conspiracy puzzle is Paul Heyman's transformation from Wiseman to Oracle, a change that reveals his true role as WWE's inside agent tasked with destroying the Bloodline from within. Heyman's betrayal at WrestleMania 41 wasn't a storyline decision, it was the activation of a long-term corporate plan to dismantle the Anoi family's power structure. Think about Heyman's history: ECW founder, advocate for Brock Lesnar, and the architect of Roman Reigns' most successful championship run. His 1,316-day reign as undisputed WWE Universal Champion was built on Heyman's strategic mind and promotional genius. But here's what WWE realized: Heyman's loyalty to the Anoi family was making them too powerful, too independent, and too difficult to control. The evidence is in the details of his betrayal. At WrestleMania 41's Triple Threat match, Heyman didn't just turn on Roman, he aligned with Seth Rollins, WWE's corporate-approved Golden Boy. This wasn't about personal animosity or storyline logic. This was about redirecting the Bloodline's momentum toward a more controllable faction. Rollins, unlike Roman, has always been WWE's company man, willing to follow corporate directives without the independent streak that made the Anoi family dangerous to WWE's control structure. But Rollins' injury in July 2025 exposed the flaw in WWE's plan. Without their chosen replacement, they needed new enforcers to continue the anti-Anoi campaign. Enter Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, two wrestlers with no family loyalty, no independent power base, and complete dependence on WWE's booking decisions. Breakker, calling himself the new big dog, is WWE's attempt to replace Roman's organic charisma with manufactured corporate branding. Reed, at 330 pounds, provides the physical intimidation needed to make the humiliation campaign credible. Heyman's role as Oracle is particularly revealing. The name change from Wiseman to Oracle signals his evolution from family advisor to corporate prophet, someone who sees WWE's future and works to make it reality. His proud puppet master expression after the sneaker theft wasn't character work, it was genuine satisfaction at successfully executing WWE's psychological warfare campaign. The most damning evidence is Heyman's strategic positioning. He's not just managing Breakker and Reed, he's orchestrating their attacks to cause maximum psychological damage. The sneaker theft targeted Roman's identity. The double tsunami splash targeted his physical dominance. The timekeeper barricade spear targeted his protective instincts toward family. Each attack was precisely calculated to erode a different aspect of Roman's psychological armor. But here's the deeper conspiracy. Heyman's betrayal serves WWE's long-term goal of corporate control over wrestling's most powerful family. The Anoi dynasty has always operated with a level of independence that makes WWE executives nervous. They have their own training facilities, their own booking preferences, and their own cultural identity that transcends WWE's corporate branding. By using Heyman to turn family members against each other, WWE is implementing a divide-and-conquer strategy that will leave the Anoi family fractured and dependent on corporate approval for their careers. SummerSlam 2025 at MetLife Stadium isn't being positioned as Roman Reigns' redemption, it's being designed as his final humiliation. The two-night extravaganza format gives WWE the perfect opportunity to execute the final phase of their anti-Anoi conspiracy, and the evidence suggests they're planning something that will permanently damage the Bloodline's credibility. First, examine the match structure. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman in their corner. On paper, this looks like a fair fight, but the psychological warfare has already tilted the playing field. Roman enters this match having been stripped of his sneakers, his dignity, and his aura of invincibility. Jey Uso, despite his Yeet Master popularity, has been positioned as the weaker partner, someone who needed Roman's rescue on July 14th and couldn't handle Reed alone on July 28th. The venue choice is particularly sinister. MetLife Stadium, with its 82,500 capacity, ensures that any humiliation will be witnessed by the largest possible audience. WWE isn't just planning to defeat Roman and Jey, they're planning to do it in front of a crowd that will make the moment historically significant. The two-night format also allows for extended psychological torture, potentially splitting the tag team match across both nights to maximize the emotional damage. But here's the most damning evidence: the reports suggesting Paul Heyman might be banned from ringside. This isn't WWE protecting the Bloodline, it's WWE removing their inside agent once his job is complete. Heyman's role was to orchestrate the psychological destruction campaign. Once Roman and Jey are defeated at SummerSlam, his usefulness ends, and WWE can position his removal as a fair gesture while the damage is already done. The Lance Anoa'i rumors serve a crucial role in this final trap. By planting stories about his potential debut, WWE is creating false hope among Bloodline supporters. When Lance doesn't appear, or worse, when he appears only to turn on his family, the psychological impact will be devastating. Fans will feel betrayed, Roman will appear abandoned, and the Anoi family will seem fractured beyond repair. Consider the broader context. Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against John Cena in a street fight, CM Punk challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. These matches position established stars and corporate favorites in championship roles while the Anoi family fights for basic respect in a tag team match. This isn't accidental card placement, it's symbolic hierarchy, showing that the Bloodline's era of dominance is officially over. The most chilling possibility is that WWE is planning a double cross within the double cross. What if Jey Uso, pressured by WWE's systematic campaign against his family, turns on Roman at SummerSlam? The psychological impact of family betrayal, orchestrated by the same company that employed the family for decades, would complete WWE's destruction of the Anoi dynasty. They wouldn't just defeat Roman Reigns, they would break the family bonds that made the Bloodline special in the first place. The ultimate goal of WWE's anti-Anoi conspiracy isn't just about one family, it's about establishing total corporate control over wrestling's cultural narrative. The Anoi dynasty represents something WWE can't fully control: authentic cultural identity, generational wrestling knowledge, and independent power that doesn't rely on corporate approval. By systematically destroying their credibility, WWE is sending a message to every wrestling family: conform to corporate culture or face systematic destruction. The evidence is in WWE's broader booking patterns. Look at how they've handled other wrestling dynasties. The Von Erichs were relegated to historical footnotes, the Harts were fractured by the Montreal Screwjob, and the McMahons themselves have been positioned as the ultimate wrestling family. WWE doesn't just want to be a wrestling company, they want to be the only wrestling family that matters. Roman Reigns' transformation from Big Dog to Tribal Chief to OTC, Original Tribal Chief, represents a cultural identity that transcends WWE's corporate branding. His Samoan heritage, his family's wrestling legacy, and his connection to Pacific Islander culture created a fan base that existed independently of WWE's marketing machine. This independence made him valuable but also dangerous to corporate control. The sneaker theft symbolism becomes even more sinister in this context. By having Bronson Reed steal Roman's Jordan Spizzics, shoes that represent his cultural identity and personal brand, WWE was literally stripping away his independent cultural markers. They're forcing him to depend on WWE storylines for his identity rather than his authentic cultural heritage. The Lance Anoa'i suppression serves the same purpose. By preventing another generation of Anoi wrestlers from gaining momentum, WWE is attempting to end the dynasty's natural succession. Lance's 2019 appearance with Roman showed the potential for family unity and cultural continuity. His subsequent burial ensures that Roman appears isolated and that the family legacy appears to be ending with him. But here's the most disturbing aspect: WWE is using the Anoi family's own cultural values against them. Samoan culture emphasizes family loyalty, respect for elders, and collective success. By positioning Paul Heyman as a family elder who betrays them, WWE is attacking the cultural foundation that made the Bloodline special. They're not just booking wrestling matches, they're conducting cultural warfare. The industry implications are staggering. If WWE successfully destroys the Anoi dynasty's credibility, they establish a precedent that no wrestling family is safe from corporate manipulation. Future generations of wrestlers will understand that authentic cultural identity, family loyalty, and independent thinking are liabilities rather than assets. WWE will have successfully transformed professional wrestling from a diverse cultural landscape into a homogenized corporate product. The timing of this conspiracy coincides with WWE's transition to a publicly traded company under Endeavor Group. Public companies prioritize predictable, controllable revenue streams over unpredictable star power. The Anoi family's independent cultural identity represents the old wrestling model where families could build generational wealth and influence outside corporate structures. WWE's systematic destruction of the Bloodline is really about eliminating the last major threat to total corporate control over wrestling culture. Consider the broader entertainment industry context: Disney's acquisition of Marvel and Star Wars, Netflix's control over streaming content, and Spotify's dominance in music. WWE is following the same playbook: eliminate independent cultural creators and replace them with corporate-controlled content. The Anoi conspiracy isn't just about wrestling, it's about cultural imperialism in sports entertainment. The evidence is undeniable. From Roman Reigns' systematic humiliation to Lance Anoa'i's suspicious suppression, from Paul Heyman's calculated betrayal to SummerSlam 2025's designed destruction, WWE has orchestrated the most sophisticated conspiracy in wrestling history. They're not just booking storylines, they're conducting psychological warfare against wrestling's greatest dynasty to establish total corporate control over the industry. The sneaker theft at Little Caesars Arena wasn't just heel heat, it was cultural assassination. Lance Anoa'i's mysterious injury isn't bad luck, it's corporate suppression. Paul Heyman's transformation from Wiseman to Oracle isn't character development, it's the activation of a corporate inside agent. And SummerSlam 2025 isn't Roman's redemption opportunity, it's the final trap in WWE's systematic destruction campaign. But here's what WWE didn't count on. By exposing their conspiracy, we're giving the Anoi family and their supporters the knowledge they need to fight back. The truth is our weapon against corporate manipulation. Share this video, spread this information, and let WWE know that we see through their psychological warfare campaign. The question isn't whether WWE will succeed in destroying the Bloodline, it's whether we'll let them get away with it. The Anoi dynasty has survived corporate politics before, and with our support, they can survive this systematic assault on their legacy. What do you think? Have I connected the dots that WWE hoped would stay hidden? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button to stay informed about wrestling's biggest conspiracies, and share this video with every wrestling fan who deserves to know the truth. The corporate machine is counting on our silence, let's prove them wrong.